Hi guys, this is Jacqui Cooper with Crypto Mom 2 Talk Show, and I want to welcome everyone to this episode. I have a guest on today who's all the way from Canada, and I'm really excited to always talk to friends who are around the globe, and also because it's a lot of fun to always travel up there to explore, the various cities and the locations. So today we have a really interesting topic, so definitely stay on all the way to the end so I can also give you some additional information that I want to share at the back side of our conversation. But for those that might not be familiar with Crypto Mom 2 Talk Show, I'm just going to share a little bit about myself before I pop over to Tom to have him explain a little bit about his company and what he's doing. I started my cryptocurrency blockchain journey about 2 years ago now. The time seems to fly. And in exploring more about blockchain, I realized how creative the use of the technology is and the applications that can happen, not just in the monetary area of cryptocurrency, but also in the art area with NFTs, non-fungible tokens, as well as in so many other areas. And I've been journaling and sharing both my experiences, ups and downs. And my purpose of the show is both to inspire you to learn more about this, as well as to, educate yourself, because again, there's always risks involved. And I just want to say the normal disclaimer: the show is not financial advice. You definitely have to do your own research. These are opinions. But the purpose is definitely to educate and inspire you to kind of reach out beyond sometimes your comfort level, just to learn something new. So today, one of the conversations that we're going to be having is the diverse applications that blockchain can be used for. And I've known that there's real estate digital assets, but now what we're going to find out is how Tom and his company are using it actually in the real world life with real estate and buildings and construction. So with that, Tom, welcome. I'm really excited to have you on. How are you doing today?
Great. Glad to be here.
So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, as well as a website or email that people can contact you with. And everyone who's listening, both on the video side as well as on the talk side, if you don't have paper and pen, don't worry. We're going to be mentioning this a few times, and it will also be embedded within the block below. So you can always come back to this episode and then reach out to Tom, because he's definitely here to consult and support you. So Tom, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and the company and how people can reach out to you?
So I'm Tom Anderson, and I'm with ACBM, which is the auto construction industry. It's less of a company and more of a consortium of companies. So we have a lot of partners, different companies from around the world. And what we're doing is we're automating and tokenizing construction. So what we're expecting is we're going to bring all these different partners together, as we are actually, and they're working on all these different technologies to automate construction. And that website is autoconstruction.org. So you would find us there. And also we have another a stack of websites listed on the website there for the autoconstruction.org. So once you go on there, you'll start seeing partners, and there's tons of them. You can visit those websites too.
So you used a word, and a lot of times I will, ask people to define things, because just like when I first started learning about cryptocurrency and blockchain, there's a lot of terminology, and some people are familiar with it and some people aren't. And so what do you mean by tokenization? Help for those that might not know, can you kind of define it?
Sure. So if we have an object, let's call it a block, which is one of our favorite objects because we're going to use those to build. With the block, you would have a digital representation. So you would have a coin, or an NFT actually is what it is. It's an ERC 721. That is a non-fungible token. And the reason for that is because a block cannot be cut or chipped away at. It has to remain in one piece. So that would be non-fungible. And back in the day, before anybody was really talking about non-fungible tokens, we just knew that the blocks had to be ERC 721s. So that's in our white paper. You can see that in about 5 languages on the website. But so tokenizing it is the digital aspect of it. And then if you look at the memberships, that would be the membership placeholder, would be the token that is an ERC 20. So that token itself is on the Ethereum blockchain, obviously, and that would be a membership. So you're looking at a tokenized membership, which enables trade of NFTs on a block exchange. So that gives you an idea of the tokenization aspect of it. So if you had a Bitcoin with a house on it, that might be kind of our end product. You know, that would be the auto construction and housing industry that we're aiming to build. And obviously, the tokenization helps with a lot of different aspects, and we could go down that rabbit hole for quite a long time, actually. So I probably won't broach that just yet.
That's okay. So you've mentioned about tokenization, you mentioned about non-fungible tokens, and you talked about the digital. I would love to have you pull up the video because I love visuals. And so for everyone who's watching and for listening, there is a little bit of a lag time that might happen. So just be patient with us. But Tom's pulling up a video that I think will give a really great sense of what they're involved with. So I'm going to let you describe the video as you play it. And for those that are not on the video side, definitely hop over to my YouTube side. I'll include the link as well. So that way you can see this really fascinating video.
Sure, Jackie. So what we have here is ACROS, which is the underlying operating system for the auto construction industry. We have architecture, engineering, construction, and real estate operating system. So that's the title you're seeing there. What we have here is, I'll just go through it gradually. We have just a representation of a standard block size cage, which would be a 2 by 2 foot by 4 foot cage. And that would be produced in a factory similar to automotive manufacturing. We would have panels similar to the metal door panels, perhaps on your car. And then we would go through on the inside, we will have conduits, construction applications, insulation, and all the different types of thing that you would want to see in modern construction to pass codes and all. This is the block that aligns with the blockchain. So if we were to have, say, a non-fungible token, that would represent this block. So that's why this is important, because this is your physical aspect, mass-produced block that aligns with the block that you will see on the block exchange or on the blockchain. So this is the block supply chain you're looking at here, which corresponds, of course, to the blockchain. So that's why this is important. And this is a modular building unit that will go throughout auto construction. It's like the ammunition, if you will, for the robotic crane, because they can't build in a normal fashion. They need their own system to be able to build at a rapid pace and still maintain all of the features and functions you're going to see in this block here right now.
So the picture that you're showing, does someone end up purchasing a certain number of blocks, or
Yep.
how does okay, so depending upon how large their house is, they are
Yep.
then purchasing certain number of blocks or NFTs that would then construct their house.
Exactly.
Now, how does the representation go from this digital version to the actual application, the physical application? How does that work?
Well, what you'll have is you'll have an identifier for a given block manufacturing number. So you would have serial numbers, and essentially those will align with the digital supply. So you might have 1 million blocks, and if you have 1 million blocks coming from the factory that are on board trains and ships and trucks, then you would have 1 million blocks on the exchange. So now you will have a listed commodity, if you will, on the exchange, which would be 1 million of these block NFTs. And that would build, let's just say roughly 1,000 homes. So we have 1,000 homes, which 1,000 blocks each, which is 1 million blocks. We might have that 1,000 homes bought and sold in a week or a month, which will enable a movement, if you will, of the NFTs.
So are you using a certain platform to share out your NFTs? Are you using like Polygon, or have you not determined that yet? How are you kind of going to be sharing this out?
So we have an exchange partner called Nice Platform, and they're building out the blockchain trading platform for the block exchange. So we could bring them on actually at some point. We could talk to them too, but for now, you know, they're the exchange builders. It's a blockchain based trading platform. The NFTs would be the modules or the modular blocks that you're seeing here, and that will be built out on a blockchain platform. And we won't be spreading the blocks all over the place because they have to be supplied by the factories that are going to be making them firstly, and then they have to be consumed by the companies that are members of the industry. So if you have a member of the industry, will have a robot, they'll have a jurisdiction, if you will, a place where they're going to want to build, pick a country, pick a city, and they're going to be consuming the blocks on those projects. So that's kind of how the system will be working. It's something of a closed system when it comes to buying and selling the blocks. Owners can exchange them amongst each other, but we've got to be careful that the real blocks are being manufactured to support the NFTs that you're actually going to see. We don't have the luxury of just making a digital asset that has no correlation to physical reality. We also have to deal with the manufacturing and the physical reality as well.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point. This is a very utility-oriented NFT. It's not like the art or music side, even though there is obviously use for that, but this actually has a commercial application, and so that's why it's important. Do you want to continue on with the visuals?
Sure. So in the background, we had many engineering groups and companies and people involved engineering this. And what you're seeing here is a loose representation. Obviously, there's some trade secrets that are not shown, and there's quite a lot of detail that's missing. But what you see here is something to showcase functionality and just give a loose idea of what the engineering was and why it took 10 years. But we had to incorporate all of the features and functions of top of the line modern construction and even above the level of construction most people are used to seeing nowadays. So here we have the cage, the blocks. You can see the conduits. We call those orange things there conduit grids, and they're interactive. They connect with other conduits and other blocks so that you can pull services through the system. And then I'll just hit play here. So now we've got under layers, which you can see a cementitious board there that's backed with some wireframe and things. That gives us a sort of a fireproof backer and gives us a surface at which to bond all kinds of different features, finishes that we might have. And then you'll see the finishes going on here. So that would be something of perhaps a marble or a granite or some sort of stone, or it could be plaster, the way that you normally see in a wall in your house. And you see the list on the left there, aluminum or other metal construction, or even composites. And then you've got your conduits, your lath, adhesives, drywall, polished granite, that type of finished materials. And they are optional. We can manufacture those to specification. And then you see the insulative layer just went in there. So we would have sort of a foam block on the inside of the wall there. And that would be just inside the outer surface of the wall so that we can insulate the entire cavity. And then the center, you'll notice, is hollow. And here's a lot of different blocks. You could see doors, windows, roofing, flooring, and ceilings. And here's an example of a block building going together. You see the kit show up on site there. Hopefully in real life, they don't drop it on the dirt like that, but
it's just for the video side.
Somebody just got fired right there.
Yeah. But it's just amazing how seamless it is in terms of how everything just fits together, like you said. For those that are not on the video, definitely pop over to the YouTube side because of the fact that you can see how these pieces are, there's a lot of
like Lego.
Yeah, it is like Legos. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it ends up being someone's home.
Yeah, that's the good part. So that's the arm there. You can see moving over some blocks that are together. Yeah, there's 5 in a row there. We call that a lift. So that would have 5 blocks, would be 20 feet long. And now you can see the sub, or what we call below grade blocks, ending and terminating in the foundation level blocks there and getting some concrete poured inside. Then you got your support beams, and then you got your flooring systems, and then you got your next story of wall going up there. And you can see the doors and windows dropping in.
Yeah, it definitely is fascinating because it's just like you said, it's like Lego houses, but it's for adults, not just for kids. So and the beauty of this is that it can happen anywhere.
Yeah, it absolutely can be built anywhere. And we have on the engineering side, we've been working through systems for reusable structures for the oil and gas and energy industry so they could stop wasting money on destroying buildings and tearing them down. But at the same time, there are, say the movie industry would not be constrained to using a single design. They could reuse the blocks in all kinds of different ways and build, towns and villages and things and tear them apart and go put them up somewhere else. So we don't have to lose, waste into the environment. We're destroying the environment if we have to build things and tear them down and throw them away. And I'm sure that if anybody's worked in the movie industry, they'll be highly aware. Or the mining, oil, gas, all of these industries are wasting a large amount of product every time they tear a building apart to relocate. So this is a great system for that.
No, it's great. Also, any industry that has mobile people, this would be great. So, one of the things that I didn't ask you at the beginning, but I would love to find out now is, how did you get involved with this, your background? Because obviously, like you said, it took 10 years for this to manifest. What's your background? How did you get involved with all this?
Yeah, so I have a couple of different areas that I've worked in. One is construction and real estate development, and another one is the engineering and architectural side. I've been working there for my whole life. So essentially, in the last 15 years or so, I got involved in the insurance contracting area. So we were dealing with a lot of damaged buildings from various disasters. And that kind of got us going in a direction where we realized, sometimes there's maybe thousands of homes that need to be rebuilt after a single day or a disaster. And it was a question of, how could we possibly build as fast as demand could require us to build. So what we came up to was a lot of engineers that I had known in the building industry and other industries, we came up with an idea like this to solve a problem, which was supply. We have a big supply problem when it comes to disaster remediation. You might have, 10,000 homes damaged in a single event. And how can you descend on that problem and deal with it, efficiently is a big problem in that industry. So that was sort of how I got involved, was when we realized, we've got all of these big companies, TD Malash and State Farm and RBC and all these companies that are requiring large amounts of construction in short amount of time. And this is a solution. So this is kind of one of the drivers behind everything, is the economics of it, is to say, listen, we can save a lot of money and a lot of material. And of course, I've always been interested in ways that we can sort of improve the environment. And this is one of them. We can avoid destroying a lot of materials and wasting a lot of materials. So this is just great. I mean, my background in construction goes way back, but this is sort of a solution to all the problems most of the problems we've ever had. So this was a big thing for me.
I love that. I love it because it's both environmentally friendly and, looking forward to how are we going to, work with the materials that we have in existence, and then how do we recycle and reuse materials. And I also love the fact that the blockchain and NFTs are being used to be creative in a commercial way. So this is awesome. Why don't you go ahead and mention again how people can contact you?
So that's autoconstruction.org. We also have some Telegram groups. We have ACBM official, and we also have anything related to block members. So we also have a website called blockmembers.io. So those websites, and then also there's a long list of websites on the website of the various partners, and we might even be able to bring those partners on as guests in the future.
Yeah, for sure. I would love to chat with them to have multiple episodes to explain more about this technology. Everyone who's listening, really, this is the first of many episodes that we're going to have, because I think this is a very important area to explore. When do you think the first launch is going to be, shared? How far out are we to actually seeing one of these homes manifest?
Well, the homes, it's funny because if you're in construction, you'd understand that as soon as we have the engineers signing off on a build, that's approval. And as soon as we have that, we can pop out of the ground, really, really fast. We're probably looking at another year or two, because we want the tokenization aspect to take hold, so that we have enough members in the industry, so that if we need places to build homes, we can select countries where we have members. So when you're building an industry, you need to also have people involved around the world. And those might be companies, they might be concrete suppliers or stone, suppliers, or, robotics builders, but they might also be, homeowners or potential homeowners, people that would like to step into the new system. So that's kind of where we're going. It will probably take us a couple of years to get ironed out to the point where we say, okay, 500 homes here or there. So that's kind of what we're aiming for. If we can finish off the token sale in, say, 12 months, I'd say we could be out of the ground in close to the end of 2021, or even in mid 2022.
That would be great. That would be great. So everyone, definitely stay tuned for more episodes about this use of NFTs in construction. I will also share some of my links within the embedded podcast, talk show, and YouTube, so that way you can check out some of the NFTs that I've been playing with to support charities that I am volunteering with. Again, it's the more traditional side of creating art within NFTs, but again, this technology can be used in many, many different ways. Any last minute thoughts, Tom, that you want to share with our listeners? This has been really inspiring and educational. I really appreciate your being on.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about art with NFTs, we're looking at the potential here that we could also create blueprints, various architectural plans, which are also quite artistic. So you would have various decor items, perhaps as NFTs and physical modules. So it's exciting because the potential of what you can do with the NFTs combined with the artistic options, you've got the chance to create a real artistic vision with this new construction method. Let's say, for instance, you might want to put glass panels on the outside of your build that could be lit up. So you could have Christmas decorations or television shows or whatever it might be that can show up on your building. There's just a infinite layer of potentials as far as artistic expression. So that's one of the more exciting parts.
You also mentioned something that popped into my mind. If you have that ability within the NFT area, you also have the ability possibly to put solar panels on or other things.
Absolutely, absolutely. We haven't even scratched the surface of what the system will do today, what we're talking about today, but absolutely the solar leads on into another great big rabbit hole where the solar can power the blocks that essentially produce crypto or do data processing. We call those mining furnaces.
Yep.
Those can heat the house through the walls and floors and ceilings so that we can essentially use the heat that comes off the processor. So we can have a node in every build and we can build a huge network that way. So that's just a whole nother aspect of what we're talking about.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of potential here that can be explored, both from the what I call the traditional build, as well as the alternative builds that are becoming more day to day and every day. I mean, again, people are aware that you can buy Bitcoin on PayPal and Venmo. So cryptocurrency and everything is becoming much more of a commonplace occurrence. So Tom, thank you so much for being on. Everyone, definitely like and subscribe, and also connect with both Tom and myself so that way we can keep you in the loop. I do have blogs and other media that I'd love to have all of you be on. So everyone, have a great day. Definitely be kind to yourself and others, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much.